Hey guys, and welcome back to the Nichole Show 2025, episode 2. Now, today we have a beautiful soul sister of mine, so heart aligned, a mama bear, an energetic healer herself, Belinda McKnoulty. Now, all her socials will be underneath, but she is a Mystics Kids coach, a phenomenal coach from my experience. And I really do hope that you stay and listen right to the end because for the very first time on socials, on Spotify, and however you're watching this, YouTube, you'll see a healing at the end. We've created a little piece that's just a little drop in. So I hope you thoroughly enjoy because maybe we'll do more of these on this place and space. A little healing, a little drop in, and lots of words of wisdoms from some beautiful coaches and mama bears. Stay tuned and welcome to the Nichole Show.
Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now. Welcome back, guys, to the Nichole Show, where we literally have no scripts. Let's be real. I have beautiful fellow coaches and friends and inspiring people in my life. And today I am joined with my beautiful soul sister from Queensland, Belinda McKnoulty. Now, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, but I'm so excited to have you. And give us a little mini bio on who Belinda is.
Oh gosh, it's the $1 million question, isn't it? Like, who am I? I am an energetic coach, so I work with all different types of modalities and body work, and work very much in the role of trauma response. So being able to break through maybe some of the things that people can't break through, and working with that. So my background is, addiction. So that's really high on my one of my passions, I suppose, and my background as well. So being able to move through all of that and then bring it into the forefront now and see how our day to day is just a walking addiction for everyone, really. And being able to break that down for people and shift the cycles. So we have a beautiful little studio here in Cleveland, Mystic Studio, and we run lots of workshops. We play with, medicine in there, with the earth medicines in there as well. And we bring the kids in as well. So we bring the kids in and work with the little ones around, emotional regulation and how to be confident within themselves. So I think that's it. That's a mini.
It is a mini. And yeah, I just have to say, I have known you for almost 2 years, I think it is. Time is irrelevant. However, I only got to meet you last year, like the end of last year, and then I came back up again. And I just think that, number one, you are amazing. You have this beautiful gift. And when you meet mentors and soul sisters and people that you just want to work with, that's so inspiring. But to be helped, I had this beautiful healing from Belinda and her daughter in her Mystic Kids or Mystic space. And it's really profound. So if you guys are up in Queensland, she's worth the travel. Like, doesn't matter what part. I know Queensland's so big, but definitely worth going to see her in person. I've had her on my Zooms and in my masterclasses and online, and your frequency is literally divine. So thank you for doing the service and doing the work, and continue to shine your light because it is so powerful. So with the Nichole Show, and it is tongue in cheek, you know that, because I don't believe that. Well, I am the center of my own universe. That's okay. My coach told me that I am actually. You know how that saying says, you're not the center of the universe. Well, I am actually. I'm the center. I'm creating everything I want. But the reason that I did it was tongue in cheek, for the fact that, on socials, on in business sometimes, or even with the mama hat on, like, we wear all these masks and hats for certain places and spaces. And with this one, I wanted to show the diversity of what goes on in the background, what's alive for you. Let's go vulnerable, let's go deep, so that no human has to go alone with something that's going on for them. So I would like to see what's on your heart that you would love to share, knowing that this is going to fall on some ears, that it's so, somebody who needs it. It is something that's in your mind and heart that we can go a little bit deeper to and give a perspective or some love into.
I mean, like where we're traveling at the moment with that fine line between being mum and being space holder and healer and all of those other hats that we're talking about. I think the $1 million question is, how do we manage that? How do we keep our stress levels to a point where we can still function with all of those hats on? And this goes like because it's for both of us, like we are both in these situations where we are managing children on the spectrum, genetic conditions, addictions, mental health. Like we are smack bang in the middle of this world right now, and our role as facilitators and healers and coaches and all the rest of it is to hold other people through that. So my belief is that we are doing all of this work so that not one of our clients that walks in has to fucking do it
by themselves. They don't have to do it by themselves for real.
That we have the tools to give them, because we've just endured all of this stuff. So I suppose that's my question back to you is how, like, I know we have our tools and our toolkits and our resources and that sort of stuff, but when you look at how it comes together and it forms, like, we are the center of the universe, like what you just said, it is. And being in that space of relationship, as well, and then managing these kids, managing our workload, managing ourselves, managing all of these different bits and pieces. Like, are we just like this massive microfiber cloth that comes through and sweeps it all up? And then we give ourselves a wash every now and then. That's my question. Like,
good question, because I like to shower twice a day, so I'm using that microfiber cloth. That's okay, and that's sometimes for cleansing and sometimes for cleanliness. I love that analogy. I honestly, what dropped in for me literally this week was, and I don't know if this is too woo-woo for others, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I believe that my future self in the 5D realm, in the other dimensions that are actually there, is cultivating and sending back things in my path to create. So I had this idea of like, I know why I'm a kids coach. Like, I've used it with my kids, and Brody and Jacob are actually, I wonder if they'll ever listen to this, but they're really good kids. And look, I've had my challenges and maybe my mind and memory's not as good, but Aurora is definitely our next level challenge. And I've had to really rethink my language and my wording and my parenting. And I thought, I created kids coaching and NDIS and different kind of funnels into the systems that were broken because of Jacob and the story that I had with his diagnosis, and then also my ADHD diagnosis. But what I realized in the kitchen, like literally 2 days ago, was my future self made me freaking create the kids coach so that Abby and I are so supported for the challenges that we're going to have with Aurora. So I honestly believe that what you've cultivated in your world with me and other people and other healers and other friends and soul sisters and brothers, you have created such a safety net that now, in the needs of the times that you need to balance who you are as a woman, as a person, as a sister, as a mother, you have all of that support, and it's just there. Because our old selves in addiction and blah, blah, blah was so isolated and so didn't have any of that, didn't have any resources. I believe our future self created those self-sabotage and whatever else to cultivate, and our future self is still sending us little crumbs like, hey, you gotta make this now, because you're gonna need it, you're gonna need this. And I have such a, even in my pole studio community, they were watching Aurora last week have this massive breakdown, and one of the ladies like, I think she has PDA and you need to change your language. And then it happened with some other friends on Australia Day, and they're like, how about you use this and this? And that was really helpful for me and Abby. I honestly believe that what I have created and continue to create is not just for my passion and purpose, it's for the life that I'm leading. And on top of that, sometimes I would like to take my hat off. I look at all my friends that are single. People that don't have kids don't fucking get it. They don't. They don't. And I'm not like discriminating, because some of the, some beautiful people do want kids and some people don't. Some people choose not to. That's not the thing. But people that don't have kids and have their business or have their one thing, amazing to you. I'm so envious. I celebrate you, but I'm envious, because sometimes I would like to just be Nichole. But however, we've chosen this path and our kids are our reward. But it's beautiful to be surrounded by other parents and mothers that get it, so we can love on each other, so we don't feel isolated. And sometimes you just text me. You're like, do you need this? Or I text you. That's everything.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And then you go through that little portal of, like we've got our future selves and all the rest of it. But then, like if we're going to stick on the woo-woo, you go and you're doing those timeline jumps, and then you're bringing back the downloads, like you can look at it that way as well, and you're actually seeing them in a different light. So all of these little things that are unfolding, you're actually seeing it in a different light, and I suppose it's coming back and knowing this particular journey, this earth journey that we are here doing, and our purpose and passion and our highest excitement, however we want to word it, is very much a solo journey. And a lot of the time we get very lost in that. Like, even though we have these supports in place, you go through that guilt and shame of what it is that you're actually going through, and you won't reach out, and yeah, and I think that's one of the tricky things to navigate, as well as, especially when you're in the industry of service, because you have people coming to you and they have some big stuff going on, and you're there, you're holding, it's not an effort, it's not draining your energy, because you're doing it correctly, because you know your limits, and and then it's sort of like, it comes back to that trust as well, doesn't it? Like, it's like, okay, well, especially in a world with these systems where, these kids haven't received the support from the systems that they probably should have, or the systems aren't in place to handle what it is that these beautiful kids are bringing through for the systems to change now. And, and then you sort of go into that space of trust then too, where it's like, okay, I need help. I don't even know how to ask for help because I'm so used to being the help.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I've had so much guilt when I haven't been able to show up, or I would have pushed through and perhaps not done the best of service, or different things. And I think that I would even judge, to be honest. So even years ago, if I saw a coach being totally vulnerable and not showing their beautiful, motivating, strong side, I'd be like, oh, that person's going through a wobble. And I'd be like, not as trusting in their abilities, perhaps. And that was my own perception, my own judgments. And now I want to be the leader in the fact of being vulnerable. If I still have down days or depressed days, or I can't show up, honesty is one of my top values. But being honest to speak my truth and trusting that will be okay with the people that love me. Some people might not like that. Some people might not, be okay with me not showing up sometimes, or being totally honest, but then they're not my people anymore. And I just want to lead the way in the most vulnerable, authentic way possible. And right or wrong, that's just feels aligned to my soul. And as mums, why not? In the industry that we've been taught, we've been pulled apart so much. We're in our own four walls, especially if we have a kid that has extra needs, and whatever they are, doesn't matter, diagnosis or not, majority of the time we're given, hey, go get a diagnosis, go get help, take your kid home from school. And so we pull away. So that guilt gets even bigger, and then we don't know. And so if I just blurt it all out there and say, I'm having a shit day, I yelled at Aurora, blah, 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 I've had so many messages about what's going on with me and Abs at the moment, just DMs, because I'm being vulnerable. And I'm like, fuck, it's so powerful. Yet we forget that. Like, speaking your truth will land on the ears of the people that it's meant to. And if it helps one person, amazing. If I get judged by some people, well, I'm just going to put my wall up. I don't want to even know about it. Cool. But I honestly believe that through this, through our conversations, through the connections, through doing this work, we are cultivating a beautiful connection, not only for ourselves, for our cups to be full, but for our children. Because you'll be able to work with Aurora, and when you play with her, and I get to work with your kids, and that, like, I love that your kids have me on Snapchat, and that might not be okay for everybody's parents, but I love that. I love being their friend and mentor.
Yeah.
That's everything, because it's bringing back what we were meant to be like in tribal times and community, of having a whole bunch of aunties and uncles that look after the family. Because if you're having a down day, like, and I'm sure they did back then as well, somebody else would pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Go have a sleep, go do that, or whatever it is. And so that's what I'm really trying to do, is bring back that sense. And it comes from heart. Because I genuinely I love the fact that your kids love me, like, more the fact that you love me. I love the fact that I can be that person for them,
Yeah.
and it might last a week, a month, a few years, whatever, but that
Yeah.
matters.
Oh, they really like Snapchat, so you're good for now.
I'm good
Yeah,
for you.
Snapchat's their thing. What I find really interesting back, so I do some other work as well, and one of the stories that we were given around, this particular thing that I'm involved in, was talking about the tribeswomen. So I just want to go back to that for a minute, because this concept and this idea is beautiful. It's been going on for, like, I don't know, however long it's been going on for. But they would pick one woman from the community, from the tribe, every week or every day. And all of the women in that community, that tribe, would go and do something for that woman, right? So it had nothing to do with the men in the tribe. It was all about the women in the tribe. And, for that day, like, this woman had all of her food cooked for her, the washing, the kids, whatever it was that she needed, she was topped up that way by all of the other women in the tribe. So this, like, that concept of doing that, like, could you imagine our world right now if, like, we have amazing little communities, and, if someone came to me today and said, I'm going to clean your house, I'm going to, cook all your food, I'm going to manage the kids, I'm going to even go down and run your business for the day, and you can just sit, you can go and laze out near the pool and just sit for the day. I would be like, holy shit, that is my top up. Right, who am I doing this for tomorrow? Because it made me feel so good. But, like, when we look at that, like, we've lost our way, like, these ancient ways of being, and to pull it right back, to strip it down. Like, if we're in this vulnerable space, then we're fucking naked. Like, we are, like, we're bare and all. And, to be in that space of nakedness, I suppose, and to have someone step in and actually follow those old traditions, and even if it's just pulling it out and modernizing, there was a reason they did this stuff. And there was a reason back then that there was no, diagnosis. There was no, sort of mental health. There was none of that stuff. It was simple and it was easy and everyone was full. So, like, that, like, it feels really beautiful. Like, and I love sharing that story because, I mean, technically on mainstream, I'm not allowed to, but I really don't care because it's a really great story. So
I love it. Well, I don't know where it came from, but I think it's beautiful, and I think that it's so needed, and it just puts light on the reason that I, share what I do as well, is because connection, that's what's missing. We've both worked in mainstream, we've both worked in, different professions and government agencies and all the rest. And most of them have an intention or a motto of some good. However, they get so stuck in the politics of it all and the red tape and the KPIs. And then, we've all seen the systems that are failing. So I love being an entrepreneur. I love being in my own business because I can add that love to it. That's the whole connection. That's what's missing, is connection and love to anything. Like, if you're doing something out of a gift, like I was chatting to someone yesterday, and I was like, well, I'm not giving up work because I love this. This is not work. Doesn't matter how much money's in my bank. And yes, universe, I'm asking for more. I can't wait to travel more and do more, volunteer work and be in that place. And imagine that. Imagine if that was your thing and I could just run around and fly out to Queensland and go, okay, I'm your person for a day and then I'm this person. That'd be great.
Yeah.
People's cups up. Hopefully that's a little, because we only do that now, like when somebody's like sick or dead, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll come and do your dishes, or I'll cook you some food. Why don't we just do it in anyway?
Yeah.
That's so interesting because we in our Western culture, I will always do care packages, but I normally only do care packages when things are like really bad for somebody. How interesting! How about just do a care package just for nothing?
But if you look at it, like if you look at it from a different perspective, like with your business, for instance, like we talk about like these things in the home and like what we were just talking about them, which is amazing. But look at all the extra service, like look at all those things and that love that you give without people actually realizing, like, and then they go away and they think, oh, I feel really good about that, but they don't know why, and they don't know how much work is in the background, like what we're actually giving, from an energy perspective as well, but from that love. Like if we didn't love what we did and we didn't want to be of service, we know we're of service. That's not something that we need to manifest. I actually spoke to this last night. It's not something that we need to manifest. It's already there. That's our role. That's what we're doing because that's what we've chosen. But what I think mainstream forgets as well, and people forget, is that we don't see behind that. We only see what's in front of us. So, and it's really interesting, like to try and pull all of that together. Like, I mean, we're doing this now, but then how much energy, have both of us put in since that meeting was organised? Do you know what I mean?
100%. And how much energy is going to take for this to actually get out there on the airwaves and to cross promote it and put it on socials and let it land? Of course, people don't.
No.
This podcast honestly is a devotion and a passion of love because it costs me money at the moment. It's not, I'm not doing it to get, to get famous or anything like that. I pay a social media VA to get it because I don't have the time and space, but it is a passion project and I do love sharing. And that is a part of, I believe one of my soul missions. So, yeah. And I think that's the difference as well. When in any business, any industry, whatever you're looking for, interview your people until you find the right one. You've got to find, your soul knows, your intuition knows, and that could be anybody. It could be a cleaner that comes into your house, could be a support worker that works with your kids, could be a teacher, could be a school, whatever. We forget that a doctor. We forget that we have the choice to pick who is right for us. And the same thing, like if you listen to, say, a podcast that's just out there to make money, like you can hear the gimmick ones, the ones that have got the clickbait or whatever else. If that's what you want to listen to and that's what your mind's getting distracted with, cool. But you can feel the different energies and the people that are putting content out there for a purpose with love. And that's what I, enjoy learning from. It's from people's experiences, real life, and, deep vulnerability.
Yeah, it's so much better, isn't it?
Well, it's great because when I grew up, there was nothing. It was dial-up internet. My son, who's an electrician now, had to take off, those old telephone plugs that you plugged in, like an old. And he's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Mate, that's what the phone's plugged into before. And before that, dial-up internet. Like we don't need it now." And he's like, "This yellow plug that the prongs go in." And so how the times have changed, but I do love the fact that this can be used for good. This frequency, and we would never have connected if we didn't have socials and Zooms, and we would have just had, we would have been just doing our community-based work in our community.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of like especially at the moment too. There's a lot of like growth happening, and people are taking their little masks off. Or maybe just the top layer of the mask, but they're taking, they're removing a little bit. And I think we're seeing that more and more. And that's where these conversations are so important because someone will come in and, they will pick up one line of what we've said, and it'll just be perfect for them. So,
Can you
is
hear
that your dog? Is
No,
that your
that's
dog?
a chook. I'm just going to look out the window. I'm going to
That's
pause
the
this
dog.
because I don't know if a cat or something's got that chook. Let me just pause it.
Doesn't sound right.
Let me just pause.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in two big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing. Now let's dive right back into our episode, and thanks so much for being a part of the Nichole's show.
We're back, guys, and the chicken is okay. We're back, guys. The chicken's okay. Where were we at? What else are we going to talk about in this beautiful podcast today? I know we're talking about like connection and being able to have this, but what else is in your heart to express and land on people's ears today?
I don't really have a lot, to be honest. I don't. Yeah, I love what we've just spoken to. I think. Yeah, because right now that's very much alive. It's the fine line. It's the balance between all those different hats that we wear, and I suppose the pendulum, like not you know like the pendulum swing, like swinging from one to the other, and then we have that brief moment of centeredness, where it's sort of coming back into the middle. Um, so I think for me, it's about focusing on the middle right now, like just giving even if it's an extra 20 seconds that I'm there,
Yeah.
I've done it. It's perfect. Yeah. So I think it's like really being accountable, for, yeah, for that middle ground. Yeah.
I have not done this, but I feel called to do it. Let's try. If it feels
Okay.
like one for you. I'm going to start. So, guys who are listening to this now, this is going to be a little process or a bit of a hypnotic kind of energetic rant. So, if you are driving your car, maybe pause this and listen to it later. I haven't done this on here. Like I've obviously done them on Zooms, but I feel like I want to share a little process about coming back to center and how mums can just run this just a little couple of minutes, like not too much. And then if you want to add anything to it, which I'm sure you can and will, add your little spin on it too, because it's really important for us to play with this, and you obviously play with it with me and see how you feel, and then you add to it. Are you ready to play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm in.
You're in. Okay. So for those that have busy minds and, we have those mum hats on and business hats and blah, 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 all the little things. I want you to imagine, and if it feels right for you guys, take a breath and close eyes so you can really just quieten that mind. I want you to imagine that there's little chords or energies like just running out everywhere. And this is a little quick mantra that I do quite often, especially if you've had a draining day or energetic day. I take a breath and then I say out loud, I return any of the energies, emotions, frequencies, or things that I've picked up on that are not mine back to the people it resided to with love. So I return any of the emotions, the frequencies, the things that I've picked up on that are not mine. And I return it back to source as well, because it might not even be from the people. I return it back to where it came from with love. And when I say that, my body kind of just gets a little stronger and feels like it aligns. What would you add to that, Belinda?
I think what I would do then is I would actually invite you to go back into the heart. So once you feel that body aligning and everything just dropping away, because that was my feel, I could feel everything just dropping away. And just placing your hand over your heart and just inviting back in all of the love that you deserve. So bringing it back in through that heart space and just feeling yourself getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So just expanding that energy out.
Mm.
Yeah. And once you feel that stop, so it's not going to stop, it'll be like a little pulse. But once you feel that, anchor it in. So it's just that visualization of like a line going from your heart down into the earth and then back up and through. And you could do a figure of 8 if you wanted to, but just allowing yourself, and that gives you the visual then of that alignment.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I've heard that called like the column of ascension as well. So you can Pachamama, Earth Mama, and your soul star, whatever you believe in, or
Yeah.
God, your highest. And it just brings that frequency in. And it's just a little process. I hope that helped, guys. It might,
So
again.
that took all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, like you guys can
Yeah.
just take a breath, return the energies that are, because we really forget that we are all empathetic, empaths. Like, we feel things, something we're not taught. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I can literally, and because we've obviously practiced this a lot, it has a very energetic effect on us, but I can feel my body get stronger and more centered and more clear. Like I just so clear right now because of like, even what I've done
Yeah.
this morning, I forgot to take that second back to me.
The other thing that can unfold from that as well, like if it is a really big day and you can't remember what to do or what to say, if you were to jump in the shower and let the water hit your crown, it actually breaks the energetic field. So, and just allowing that. So it's like the purification. So it's just allowing the water to run. So like everything's coming off and going into the drain.
Yeah.
And it's just holding that thought like, yep, I'm washing the day away. That's one, especially for people who aren't used to like actually bringing themselves back in or forget things and don't take the time.
Yeah,
You
shower
find that,
purification and grounding
yeah,
all in one.
all in one. Yeah.
Don't forget to take your microfiber cloth that we had at the beginning, full of all the dust and all the particles, all the people, and wring that out in the shower too, so that you get a clean, fresh one for the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that's really beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that's so cool. That's another drop in that I've had. I've really ever had guests on this podcast, and I am opening it up to my students and friends this year, but I might actually run a few ones where I record little gifts of meditative or hypnosis that come up on your Spotify or whatever.
Yeah, I think that'd be really beautiful. I think it's really needed. Yeah, that's the feel, because that was just so easy and simple, and it's 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
they've just been given 2 tools in 2 minutes, a tool a minute.
A tool a minute.
a tool a minute. Yeah.
Oh, that could be a new funnel. Tool a minute.
A tool a minute.
I love that. I feel really beautiful and complete.
Me too.
And I love having you on. You're obviously welcome at any stage as well. I will put all Belinda's details below for anybody that wanting to catch up with her online or in person. So yeah. So much. If you have any other questions, you can find us on multiple channels. And I'm sending unconditional love to you, your family, and everybody that's listening.